Hi everybody, I hope you've been having a good week. It's been a little bit of time since I've posted a video or even thoroughly recorded my process on some of my recent works, but I thought I'd post a video of some footage a while back. I was doing a watercolor study and just practicing. I didn't finish this study, I didn't actually like where it was going, but I wanted to just chat about some of the things I've been up to. So this is a book called The Paris Sketchbook. It's beautiful with all of these different watercolor studies of different buildings from Paris. So I love to look at this book if I'm trying to get inspiration for watercolors because everything is very nicely done in his style. It's rendered very nicely, and actually I can't even remember if the artist is a male or a female. I'll have to look at that. But and then the other book I use is this one, which is Watercolor Workshop, Painting Workshop, and it's with watercolors. But again, the colors are just super vibrant, and the style is so loose and expressive, but it doesn't lose its whites and its light while painting in that way. So I really like this style because you get to capture the loose brush strokes, but you're not sacrificing the light. So it's not like you're just putting bright colors everywhere. I really like this painting as well just because of that same style of it. So obviously I'm very drawn to looser paintings, and I think the painting that I try to do right after looking through all these books is just way too tight. I do think you can still give yourself a basic sketch if you're going to be doing a watercolor painting, but I was just way too tight with it, and I don't think I approached it very well. Watercolor is tricky in that way that you have to kind of think to the future all the time and make sure that you're not covering up something that you want the light to be shining through. You really have to start with light values, but I think I was just rendering it way too far. So something that I'll do before I start a painting is just make a little sketch, kind of like a little thumbnail. So you can see the ones that I have up top I just did from pictures of my on my phone of little landscapes, and those are really cute. I want to do some paintings of them. You can also see, just something I wanted to point out is that for those landscapes, the skyline is dropped lower, so the land only takes up a third, and then the sky is 2/3 in both pictures. And you could do that, or you could raise the land so that it's higher, but usually you want to have either the land or the horizon line coming up or the sky coming down so that it's not perfectly cut in half. It just makes it a little bit more interesting for the eye. And then if you make it where the sky is bigger, you can add in some clouds or some birds and make it interesting in that way. Just always trying to make my compositions a little bit more interesting. So I started sketching out this tea set that I have on my my table, and I have it set up already, and I was just it's so cute, I just want to paint it. But as you can see, I kind of drew the cups in a certain way, and once I actually started the painting, I didn't really pay attention to where I was placing everything, so the composition changed. And I just think composition is so important. If you don't have a good composition, the painting will fall flat. And usually I'm the type of person to really work at a painting until it will work for me. I'm working on a painting currently, which I will probably show in a future video. I haven't really been filming progress updates of my art as much, but I will definitely film what I have been working on. But anyways, I've been working on this portrait, and it's just a small 5x7, I believe, and the face just is not working for me. I've painted it 5 times because it's kind of a small face. It's about an inch, and I just can't get it right. And I'm starting to think, okay, well maybe I just need to change something or repaint it again. I'm not sure, but usually I will push through and complete a painting. But if the composition is just completely wrong and I know it, no matter how well I render the objects or the subject or whatever it is, it won't look very good to me because I don't like the way the things are placed. And sometimes, when you're sketching, like with acrylics or oils, if I'm sketching with paint and I am making the outline for where I want things to go, I'm kind of focused into the painting part. And so I'm not really like, sometimes it's easy to let the composition get away from you because you're so focused on the painting. So I always try and keep that in mind and make sure my composition is well-rounded. But with this painting, from my little thumbnail sketch to the actual painting, I kind of like didn't enlarge things enough so that the teacups are a little bit more spread out than I had originally had them. So they're a little bit more just like in a row, and it just doesn't seem as interesting. I still think this composition could have worked, but that mixed with the way that I was painting, I wasn't really letting myself be loose. And this is a painting that I could probably go back to, but I feel like the teacup, it has like these really cute little dots on it and some scallop details, and I think I just went in with the details a little bit too hard, and then it's like it kind of loses that freedom feeling in it. So that's, I think, what I did wrong. But yeah, right now I'm actually working more in acrylic and oils. I've been trying out this thing where I'll paint an acrylic painting pretty much to like the place that I would normally stop at before I take a break. Because usually what I'll do is I'll paint my first layer all in one go, and then I'll like take a break. But that painting is probably like 70% done or 80% done. And then I have to do a couple more sittings to really figure out the details. Not all the time. Sometimes I'll do a painting and I'll only paint like 20% on the first go around. But I'll paint most of it with acrylic, and then what I've been doing is going over it with oil paints. I used to use water mixable oils, and those gave me, I was using Winsor & Newton water mixables, and those would give me like a horrible headache. I don't really know why. Maybe I wasn't like opening the windows enough, but I just remember getting like a headache every time I painted with them and feeling kind of nauseous. So I stopped painting with them. Also, just like they didn't work very well because it didn't really behave very well. It might have been on my end. I wasn't really using any mediums or anything other than water, and I just think it kind of just made a mess, and it still like messed your brushes up if you didn't clean them right after. So anyways, I've been using real oil paints. I absolutely love them because they're just so buttery smooth and easy to move around. I actually feel like after years of painting with acrylic paints, going to oils is like a breath of fresh air. Like it hasn't, not to say that it hasn't had its challenges, because I am new to it still. And if I start like wet on wet, there are challenges with when do I add in the whites, because you don't want it to mix with the layer underneath. So there are its own challenges, but I just feel like the way that acrylic dries so quickly, it really like closes the opportunities for those beautiful edges. And I'm looking at all these paintings that I adore with these really soft portraits. Everything's painted really soft edges, and then there's just an occasional harsh edge or a thick brush stroke that really sets it off. And I just really like that style, but I think I'm trying to achieve that with acrylic. And I love the acrylic paintings that I've been making, and I think I've been able to do a good job at that, but it takes so much extra effort and time to like try and get those. You have to have like all your colors laid out. You have to mix all your colors, get them ready, and then put them down, and then they'll dry, and then you have to do it again. And it definitely is like very time consuming. And oil paint, I wish it would even stay wet longer. I've been using linseed oil, and I've heard that's the fastest drying oil, so maybe I can try a different oil. But since I work a full-time job and I'm like not able to take all the time I want for my painting whenever I want, I have to leave things unfinished quite a lot. And so if I could have my paint still be wet, it would like save me so much time. And I love mixing colors, but I just feel like that would save me so much time. I know this is a watercolor painting, but I thought I would just chat about what I've been doing, and I'll talk about that more in the next video that I make. I'll probably take you around my art studio because it's changed. I'm in a new place, and I was able to put up like some shelves so that I can display some of my paintings, and I probably will just show you the paintings that I've been working on, and then maybe I'll show you paintings that are old that I'm going to cover up and do something new with, or change to be a little bit better. So like there's a couple of paintings that I was like, I like this painting, but it could be better, but I don't think I'm gonna completely cover it up. So I was kind of just tweaking it with acrylic, changing the backgrounds, or adding some details to the subject, and it's been really fun. I kind of made a promise to myself that I would work on all of these unfinished paintings and get them finished, or get them to a place where I like them, and then I can start other ones. But I don't feel like that's super realistic just because I have kind of a weird process. I just like paint 95% of the painting, and then I know it's missing like a few key details, but I just can't get myself to add them yet. So I just let the painting sit. And then like a year or two later, I'll come back to it and I'll know exactly what to do. I don't know. It doesn't happen all the time, but all of these paintings that I'm suddenly inspired by are some of my old paintings that I never thought would see the light of day again, and it's just been really fun to work on. So I'm not gonna like force that too much, but I do want to get some paintings finished so that I can take photos of them and add them to like the Canva website that I'm starting to make. It's kind of like a portfolio. And I just want to get some art prints and stuff made. I got some prints made like in postcard form of one of my paintings, and it turned out all right, but it didn't turn out very great just because I think I took a photo of the painting and it's a little bit of a bigger one. I think to get the best quality would have to be a scan, and I need to find a place that I can scan some of my paintings. So that's next on my list. But anyways, I feel like I've been talking long enough. I know the footage of this video might be kind of boring, but I just wanted to make a video because I haven't in a while. Just maybe encourage you that if you haven't painted in a little while or done something creative, to just remember to work that muscle and make something for fun, for mere joy of it, because this painting was very fun. You know, it kind of just acted as a meditative little outlet, and I was able to paint this and just kind of relax, but I don't actually like the painting, and you don't see me get very far with it. But this is what art looks like most of the time. It's kind of hard for me to make videos sometimes because I know what's expected is that you see a painting from start to finish and it's like a great painting, or you see multiple days or multiple paintings being finished. I don't know, but that's just kind of not realistic. Especially for me, I can't just get a bunch of paintings finished. And then my problem is, since I go back and forth to different works so often, usually I'm not confident that that painting is done, and so I don't like showing it, but I have been, just because that's the reality of like how painting is. And so yeah, I just thought it'd be kind of, refreshing that this is just a normal painting session. This painting doesn't get finished, and if you have been wanting to paint or to do something creative, you don't have to finish whatever you work on. You don't have to do a big elaborate piece. Just take out a little card of watercolor paper or something to draw on and just make a little sketch. And don't get too hard on yourself on if it turns out good or if you captured what you wanted to capture. It's all about practice and having fun. So I hope everyone's been having a good week and that you are doing something you love. And I will be back with another video hopefully soon, and I'll show you around my studio and show you some of the paintings that I've been working on, because I feel like I'm in a new streak of making stuff, and I'm really happy with the direction and the vision that I have in my head. Yeah, so have a good week and stay creative.